to an exclusive interview with Bukayo Saka, who believes that Arsenal have the strength in depth this year to win the Premier League, but insists that it's too early to get carried away. Saka spoke to us while returning to his former primary school as part of the Chase Foundation, which is about helping to create more inspirational role models in the UK.
When you're an Arsenal player, there's just always talk, constant talk about where you're finishing, how you're performing. Sometimes, I feel like it's even over-analysed. But this year, I feel we're a very strong group and we've got a lot of quality this season. I think we've got that, and it's making me really believe we can do it.
You are a legend when you walk back into school. Imagine if you come back next summer as a Premier League champion and a World Cup winner.
Yeah, that's my prayer.
Doable though, isn't it?
Of course it's doable.
Do you allow yourself to think about that?
Yeah, you have to. I don't think you can't really do anything if you don't believe it. It's definitely possible, and it's something that of course is on my mind, and I know it's a possibility.
Well, Arsenal go into tonight's game on a run of 7 straight wins in all competitions, but they haven't won this tournament since 1993. In the league, they are 4 points clear of Bournemouth at the top. Mikel Arteta revealed yesterday he wants his players to start believing they can end a wait of 21 years for a Premier League title.
But that's what we want. I think when our people are excited and when they see that the team is competing at the level consistently, there are the right reasons to believe, and that's the main thing. If you want to win big trophies, you certainly have to install that feeling amongst the team, the club, and around it. And we're in a really good position at the moment, but we know how early it is and how difficult every game is.
Good morning to Tim Sherwood. Right, you've lifted a Premier League title. Arteta wants his players and the fans to start believing. Is that a sign that confidence is growing? He's not playing it down.
No, he normally plays it down. I mean, behind closed doors, the last few seasons, they've been the bridesmaids 3 times, haven't they? Or the 5 seasons Mikel's been there. So I'm sure behind closed doors, he's told them to believe before. But it's okay, the manager saying it. It's okay, whatever he says in public, it's in the dressing room, whether you believe it. When it was, from my point of view, we finished 4th one year. Did after that season I believe that we can go on and win the Premier League? Absolutely not. We finished 2nd the following season. Then after that season, we totally believed within that dressing room. The manager would have believed it as well. We had 100% faith in ourselves that we can go on and win the Premier League, and we said it. We put it out there, that we would challenge Manchester United, who were a juggernaut of our side at the time, to win it. So I totally understand it. I mean, with the quality what they have in depth at the moment, and the squad what Mikel has built there, and the way they're playing and getting the job done, if they're not necessarily playing fantastic football all of the time. Scoring from set pieces, diligent on their defending, not taking what's on offer. If they can't win a game, they take the point. Like I said previously on the show, I think they've got a lot of similarities to that Invincible side. I really believe that. I think that Invincible side was very similar in regard of, if you can't win the game, don't lose it. They drew 12 games that year. This Arsenal side have got everything at the moment. They can cope with the injuries, what they're getting. They've got more players to come in. The test is going to come the last 2 months of the season, when it is into the running, when they are going to get twitchy. And the likes of Liverpool are going to have a run of 10, 15 games without getting beat. Man City, who have been there and done it, course and distance before, are going to come on a run. I don't think there's anyone else apart from them 3 who can win the Premier League, but might be surprised, maybe Sunderland, Tom. And but you just never know. For me, they've got 2 hands on it at the moment. I really believe that, and I think the squad, they all feel part of it. They're all playing football matches, and the mood there at London Coney at their training complex must be fantastic at the moment. It certainly is with their fans. But it's all about, and we know the most important thing is, what is it like in that dressing room? And I can tell you, every single day at their training ground and when they play match days, they have the belief that they can win this Premier League.
So that's the Premier League and everything's going well there. Tonight it's the Carabao Cup. They've got Brighton. They're at home. Right, Mikel Arteta has often been, saying, oh, well, he hasn't won. He won the FA Cup once, but he hasn't won anything since. Do they say, right, let's get the League Cup in the bag. Yeah. Let's focus on this.
Yeah.
and then we can keep going on other things? Or do they just think, you know what, we can't risk an injury in this tournament, let's focus on other things and not go for it as much as they normally would?
No, you win this. You win this competition. This competition gets dished out in March. You know, it's a huge boost for them to go on. It's not what they want at the moment. If you ask them what they want, if you could have one trophy, that would be the bottom of their list. But why not take it? You know, it's not as if they've been winning every year. They haven't been winning. They won an FA Cup when Mikel first went in there. So they've been starved of trophies of a squad of that quality. But I think go and win it. Go and win the Carabao Cup. Then put it to bed. Look, they've got the squad. They've got the depth to be able to win it. They can change their team up and still beat most teams who are coming in this competition. So I go 100% out to win this competition. A win's a win. You don't want any negativity at the moment. They're not used to losing football matches.
Yeah, well, Guardiola always used to target this one as well, didn't he, for a reason. Right, let's get the fans' view on this. Sky Sports have partnered with Finalysis, an app where passionate fans share their opinions on their club. If you want to represent your club, scan that QR code, or you can visit the Sky Sports app for more details. We can speak to Arsenal supporter Scarlett Katz-Roberts now. Scarlett, good to see you again. Right, Arteta and Saka, they're telling you to believe. Do you?
Of course I do. I mean, I feel like I've believed for the past 3 years that we're capable of winning the title. And I don't think this team is drastically different to the side that finished on 89 points. You know, I think Arsenal are totally capable of doing the business and have been before. I think the thing that's different now, as Saka alluded to in his interview, is that we've reduced our reliance on individuals, and that makes our challenge more sustainable, because when injuries happen, which they have this season, we can carry on seamlessly. And, you know, for once, it feels like things have broken for us this season, as it did for Liverpool last season. I think the question is, can we continue at our level and take that opportunity? Can we allow our emotions to remain controlled and not get them impacting our performance?
Well, actually, that's funny enough. That's something Tim's been talking about. And Tim, you've been in that situation before. How hard is that to continue to focus for the whole season, 38 games?
Well, when you get so close to the finishing line as well, when everyone expects you, they're up there as the favourites now, so they're at the top to be shot at. I was going to ask Scarlett there what she feels, you know, their biggest negative might be. You know, it's not going to be the injuries, because we know they can cope with that unless there's an epidemic come around. But we all hope that's not going to happen. But I think, from my point of view, Scarlett, I think when they start seeing the finishing line, when they come into the running, do they get a little bit edgy? Is the expectation a little bit too much for them? I think they're going to be able to cope with it. I really do. A group of international players. But that's my only... If I could try and find a little glimmer of hope for all Tottenham fans out there, that would be the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really interesting idea, because we started this season with probably people thinking Liverpool's recruitment made them unbeatable, and the data suggested at the time that they have the best players. But the data can only tell you so much about how emotion impacts performance. And the truth is, we haven't run course and distance before. So absolutely, I think when things get difficult towards the end of the season, you know, that will be a time for us to really prove ourselves. To be honest with you, I know you mentioned injuries, but I do think they're stacking up for us. And there is a kind of critical mass where you can't play so many games without your best players. We're without our captain at the moment. Eze scored a brilliant goal, so it's hard to criticise him. But, you know, I think at times he struggled on the weekend, and there's only so many games you can play without your best players.
There are reports that Saka might actually sign a new contract at the club. Does that tell you that there is extra confidence about winning trophies, because you know he's good enough to play for anyone he wants to?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we've had it over the summer. Gabriel signed, Luis Skelly signed, Ranieri, and then I actually think a big emotional turning point this season was Saliba signing, because Real Madrid have been lurking for what feels like years. And I think when your best players are committing to stay at the club, you know, they have the best view of whether they think they're likely to win something, and it's a short career. So yeah, 100%, having the biggest players, your talisman players signing up for long deals, it's a massive endorsement that trophies are close.
I think there's zero chance of any players who are at Arsenal at the moment wanting to leave if they're playing on a regular basis. We talked about they've got a lot of competitions to play in. I think Mikel will rotate them in. He will keep them all happy. He's a good manager in the background. And I think when the window opens, most top players around Europe, if they had to pick to any team they could come to in the Premier League at the moment, it would be Arsenal.
What about tonight then, Scarlett? Are you that bothered about the Carabao Cup? I mean, it is a chance to win a trophy.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some sickeners in this competition. I've not been alive to watch us win. I always remember that Birmingham final that was just awful. So yeah, I mean, I think we can go and try and win it without risking players who need to rest. And I think it's better for our squad as a whole if these outsider players, I'm looking at Nwaneri, Lewis Skelly, Hincapié, White, people who can be important to the squad when push comes to shove in the last few months of the season, and we might need more people coming forward. So I think it's important for those players to play at a high level and get the chance to get minutes in their legs, because as much as we talk about Arsenal having a big squad, it's quite clear at the moment that Arteta has an 11. And you want to feel like everybody is together and everybody is maintaining that high standard. So I think taking this game seriously and seeing those players get minutes, that's enough for me.
Let's face it, all of them players you mentioned, Oliver Glasner will take every single one of them and they will be starters for Crystal Palace. So there's no excuse. They can shuffle the pack as much as they want. They're good enough to win the competition with their B team.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, the strength of the squad has been praised throughout the season, but the strength of Gabriel has been praised a lot, Scarlett. On Monday, we're actually doing a poll as to whether Gabriel is the best player in the Premier League right now on current form this season. The options were Gabriel, Erling Haaland and Antoine Semenyo. What would you go with there? Do you think that Gabriel is the best player in the league right now?
Well, there's a couple of answers in terms of influence at the moment, and it's really only between Haaland and Gabriel in terms of who is having the biggest say over their team's destiny right now. He can't be argued with in the box. I've never seen anyone attack crosses like him, and he might end up being our top scorer, and then I'm sure people will be having a field day. But in all seriousness, I think he's someone he's managed to improve in a really impressive way. I saw him float a pass over the top for Trossard on the weekend, which is not something you would necessarily associate with Gabriel. So he's got it all, and I think his partnership with Saliba, depth. We talk about it. There's plenty of players who can come in, but that is absolutely fundamental to us.
The move from Sporting Lisbon this summer. It is fair to say the goals have not been flowing for the striker, who bagged 97 goals in 102 matches in Portugal. Many have questioned as to why Gyökeres cannot find the back of the net more for the league leaders, and now, speaking to Sky Sports, Soccer has explained that the Gunners must adapt to him rather than the other way around. Victor is playing really well. He has settled in well with the group. Last season, we didn't play with a striker like him. Kai Havertz is a different player from him. It is about us having to adapt to his game a bit and create a few more chances. He's getting more and more settled each game. The Gunners have been winning with him in the team as they cruise at the top of the table, 7 points clear. However, manager Mikel Arteta has not figured out how to get him scoring for the side, and if goals dry up elsewhere, the team will rely on him to step up. Gyökeres has 3 Premier League goals to his name, with 1 from the penalty spot so far. Soccer may be right in telling Arsenal to adapt to his style as they continue their title race against newly promoted Burnley this weekend. Bukayo Soccer has praised Victor Gyökeres' start to life in North London, but says his Arsenal teammates need to continue to adapt to the striker's style of play. Gyökeres, who joined Arsenal from Sporting CP in the summer in a deal worth £63.5 million plus £10 million in add-ons, has scored 5 goals in 13 games for his new side. The 27-year-old's brace against Atletico Madrid last week ended a goal drought that lasted 9 games for club and country, but Soccer has praised the Sweden international's integration into the Arsenal team. Soccer, 24, told Sky Sports Victor is playing really well. He has settled in well with the group. Last season, we didn't play with a striker like him. Kai Havertz is a different player from him. It is about us having to adapt to his game a bit and create a few more chances.